Thank you, Samra Media, for inviting me to be in your studio. I am actually very excited because this is my third time to be with you. My name is Tabitha Gikanga. I'm married to James Gikanga Kamau, a good friend of mine. God has blessed us with 6 children, 4 biological, 2 adopted, and we have quite a number of grandchildren. I will mention them next time, not today. I have been in the teaching profession. I have taught for the Teacher Service Commission. I stopped teaching. I was employed by the church. And then I discovered there was a big challenge in the families, and I went back to school to study marriage and family therapy. And so today I am a lecturer on marriage and family therapy and those psychological areas where we talk about relationships. I studied in America in a university called Ambridge in Alabama, and mainly I serve in Kenya, but right now I'm in America. I came on the 5th of April. I'm going to be around up to 4th of June, and I have been able to talk to very many people. People are interested in knowing how they can make their marriages good, and I'm doing my best because talking about marriage and family is my passion. I love it. I love it. And in my book actually, even if you buy this book yourself, the person who is viewing, I'm sure you love chapter number 5, which is on page 30, which talks about the rules of the game of marriage. When people get married, they are told never. They are not supposed to get angry at the same time. Husband and wife avoid getting angry at the same time. Never yell at each other, or maybe in a different way we can say never shout at each other, but you are given the option. Actually, you are given a leeway. You can shout at each other if the house is on fire, but if the house is not on fire, don't shout at each other. Never compare your spouse with any other person. Never sleep with an unsettled issue. Never bring the past issues to today's agenda. Never demean your partner. Never talk about breakups. Please hear me very loud for that. Never talk about breakups, because you said until death do us part. Work on that. Let your spouse win when you have an argument, because when someone gives in for the other person to win the argument, that person wins the argument. But you who has refused to continue arguing, you are winning your relationship. Let your spouse win in an argument. Please remember that. Ignore everyone else apart from your partner. Know the likes and the dislikes of your partner. Your spouse comes before your family. Somebody told me that this is not very right, and we argued until this person actually could see the point, because when you're married, you don't have a closer person than your spouse. So your spouse should always be number one, and you should be the advocate for your partner. The other one is compliment even as you criticize. Admit mistakes and ask for forgiveness. Be quick to forgive. Point at yourself when there is a conflict. Pray for and pray with your partner. There are those things you cannot pray together about, but it is always good for you to have a family altar. Pray for your partner even when your partner is not near you. And the other one is play. I am a Kikuyu and we have a big problem with the R and L. But this time I think I'm doing it well. Pray for and pray with. That is about prayer. And the next one is play with your spouse. What am I saying? It is always good for a husband and wife to have light moments. You do not become a headmaster, a headmistress all the time. Support your spouse even in his career or her career. Help your spouse to overcome his or her weaknesses. Sacrifice for your spouse. Do not tell each other lies. Let your partner be the last person to tell a lie if you ever tell lies. Keep your communication channels open. Communication channels should ever be open. Try to stay sweet to your spouse all the time. Forgive and forget each time you get hurt. Practice a give and take process. So when your partner has done something very good to you, do not just sit there. Plan also to revenge by doing something good to your partner. Be sensitive to his or her feelings. Do not just dismiss when you find like your partner has gotten offended. Please make sure that you address his feelings or her feelings. Resolve issues after you fight as soon as you can. It is important all the time to resolve your differences or disagreements even before you leave your house. Don't be writing text messages that are not good to one another when you are away from each other. If anything, deal with whatever brought the disagreement and let your partner go away when you are in good terms, or you go away when you are in good terms. Do not be the perfect one, but be the right one. Try to do things in the right manner, but you can never be a perfect person. Do not ever even think that you can be perfect. And finally, give a complimentary remark every day to your partner. These things are very, very important. And I think those people that have read this book from all corners, they actually give me feedback and tell me that page number 30 is the one they like most. It applies a lot in what has been eating their marriages. So I'm happy because I know this book, it talks about love languages, talks about communication, it talks about family subsystems. Once you get married, you move from one subsystem to another. First subsystem is marital subsystem, where husband and wife will have to work on their relationship until they are able to actually understand each other very well. And then even before you come to, before you are able to understand each other fully, a child comes. And so there is this other subsystem of you and the child-parent subsystem. Before you go very far, you even find yourself having children that are grown, and children probably that are going to get married. And then there comes another subsystem called the in-law subsystem. That's another area that is very sensitive. And you are the same person dealing with all these relationships. Before you go very far from there, you find yourself becoming a grandparent. And again, you'll have to relate with the grandchildren. That's another subsystem. And then you come to another stage where you actually have the children leaving you and staying in their own places. You are left the way you started, in an empty nest. And by the way, an empty nest does not mean that you are the way you started, because when you started, you are different people. and now you are different people. The stage you are in has its own challenges, which are very, very peculiar. So this is an area you again have challenges. You have to work very, very hard. And then don't forget there is what we call marital conflict. Marital conflict management, you have to be there, because a marital conflict starts with a level we call a problem to solve. If it is not addressed, if you don't deal with that problem to solve, it goes to another level called disagreement. You disagree. And then if you don't address that disagreement, you go to another level called fight. And fight comes with flight, because when people fight, sometimes one of you will run away. And then when you run away, that is not the end of the problem. It becomes war. And that is why you hear somebody has run away and the spouse is following that person even to damage them or kill that person. But if you actually dealt with this problem when it came, the two of you were capable of dealing with that problem and dissolving it completely. And there is also another level. Before you get to fighting, there is a level that we call contest. Contest is where you get your emissaries, your partner gets emissaries, and you start fighting to see who is going to knock the other one down. So marital conflict has levels: problem to solve, disagreements, contest, fight together with flight, and then war. So these things are there, and then the very, very good thing I have as a closing chapter is forgiveness. Forgiveness is actually a thing that can never ever be ignored in marriage. The last chapter of this book is forgiveness, and Billy Graham left me one thing that I'll ever live to remember, that a marriage is an institution of two people who are good at forgiving. If you cannot forgive, you cannot live with a person, and much more, you cannot live with your partner or a spouse, because you're very, very close. You'll always injure one another, knowingly or unknowingly. And so if you are injured, you're supposed to be good at forgiving. If you have injured another person, your other person, you're supposed to be able to ask for forgiveness. And once you are forgiven, you should take the forgiveness. So God bless you, and let it be possible for you to enjoy your marriage.